My name is Ethel Archibald. I live in Las Vegas, but I grew up in Selma, Alabama. Let me take you back to how it evolved for me. My parents kept things away from us. All the parents did, especially parents of color. You kept your kids close and you kept them out of things. That way they didn't get involved in that. But we're students studying government and the Constitution and everything. And you're sitting there asking yourself, why? And I determined at a young age that either I die, I'm only going to die one time. So if I'm going to die, I'm not going to die living in fear every day. My family did not want us to participate in any of this because they worked during the day and they were not on site in the neighborhood where all of this was taking place. So, and me being the oldest, I had to, corral the younger ones. Well, they did not know about my activism. And the fact that I was right there where it was happening, I was involved whether I wanted to or not. On meeting Dr. King and John Lewis in Selma, and basically on the steps of the Brown Chapel, now famous Brown Chapel Church, is that the first time I met Dr. King and shook his hands, because he was there shaking hands with everybody, the young and the old, and all in between, his hands were that of so soft and so unassuming with anybody. And he just made you feel welcome. John Lewis was there as a sidekick. He and Jesse Jackson and all of the SNCC representatives, the young people. And I see a correlation between how he did things and how President Obama did things with sending young people in. Those were the John Lewises and the Jesse Jacksons and so forth. The highlight was, evidently, it was the Bloody Sunday. It was the thing is, you didn't know what was happening, especially when you were so far back in the line of what was when they start charging on horseback and chasing the people off the bridge. And of course, they were going back to the church, or they scattered in all directions. Encouraging young people to take a stand today, just as I did back in the day, back in the mid-60s. They have to be organized. They have to know the facts, and they have to have a plan. The plan is to be nonviolent, and then you are right there recording, especially with the technology today. Everything is being recorded. You have cameras everywhere, and anybody that does anything to you, that's going to be recorded. The fact of the movement that happened in Selma impacted the world, because they saw when those images came across the television around the world and everything, they saw that Americans need to practice what they preach. They want to bring democracy everywhere. So when you're doing things like this in your own country, you end up looking like a hypocrite. I remember, and you saw this happen here on January 6th, when they declared martial law in Selma, Alabama, because of all of the brutality that happened on that bridge. The National Guard came and surrounded the community. I saw that like to use this analogy of a fox trying to guard the hen house, because those were the good old boys from the sheriff's department and white America that was surrounded our neighborhood. That's the difference between hiding that stuff from me and the fear that the parents had. And you don't know that until you have your own child. See, I didn't have that fear of them, like my parents having that fear of what they could do to them. Their jobs were at stake. Their livelihoods, what they could show up and do in the middle of the night and all of that sort of thing. They had that kind of fear, because I was not a voting age when it started. What I did see, I did know the people, like Reverend Frederick uh, Reese, who was one of the first ones that got Dr. King there, and a whole host of other people. Any last thoughts that I have would be pay attention, because when people don't learn from past history and from mistakes, they're bound to repeat them. And as you can see, we're in a constant state of repetition.